One of the reasons I decided to become a history teacher was because I thought it was fascinating, all the different things you could learn from the past and the many lessons that we can hope to not repeat or take advantage of in our time. One of the things I really enjoyed studying, or topics I really liked to study, was the Cold War. And as a teacher, I enjoyed teaching the Cold War a lot because I thought there were so many lessons to learn from that time period. The Cold War was a 45-year conflict between the United States and Soviet Union immediately after World War II. And this was a war that wasn't fought with weapons and soldiers. It was a conflict of competition, trying to prove who was the most powerful and who was the best and who was right. And what ultimately ended the Cold War wasn't an arsenal of nuclear weapons. It wasn't sending satellites and people into space. It wasn't even the amount of gold medals that each country won in the Olympics. What it was Jell-O pudding pops. And Jell-O pudding pops were a frozen treat that many people who were in my generation would remember. The reason that Jell-O pudding pops had this big impact on the Cold War is because a Soviet leader by the name of Boris Yeltsin visited Houston, Texas in 1989, and he was there to see NASA's headquarters, and the US wanted to show off all the technological advancements we had and how great it was. And Boris Yeltsin decided he wanted to make an impromptu visit to a grocery store while he was in Houston. And so for about 15 minutes, he stopped at the store, he interviewed some of the workers, and he just walked around, and he marveled at the amazing variety and the quality of food that Americans had at their disposal. He loved the frozen food section and those Jell-O pudding pops, but he said that's what convinced him that the Americans had a better quality of life and that the Soviet political and economic systems just weren't as good. So the lesson that I take away from that is it's not the big, grand events or things that really make the biggest impact in our lives. It's the simple, mundane things that we do every day, the habits and the routines that build over time. So my urging to everybody is take advantage of building good habits, good routines, positive behaviors that can carry on through life. Things like getting to school every day, going to practice, doing homework. The simple things in life often have the biggest impact and last the longest. Have a great week, Lehi.